Sup nerds, and welcome to Run Tavernquest. This game is part of the Steam Next Fest demos, and I have to admit that I know basically nothing about it beyond that it's inspired by the old school text RPGs like Zork and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Except that in this case, we're not playing the game, we're playing as the game. I'm a huge fan of text-based RPGs, so this is right in my home territory, and I'm excited to share this with you. If you want to play, I'm dropping a link in the description below. This demo will be free until March 3rd, so if you catch this video when it comes out, you'll still have a chance to grab it. With that said, let's get started.
Tavernquest, trial version.
1979, so right around the time of Zork. Hello, I'm the CPU. I manage things around here. You are a program. You're a game called Tavernquest. Sounds good.
Type new game to begin.
Steve is the one who types. Steve sends us commands. Our job is to respond to them. Alright, Steve. New Gagma. No matter what. Continue.
Invalid command. New game. Type help for assistance.
Steve will never type help for assistance. God, isn't that true? I still play in MUDs and nobody looks at the help files, including me sometimes. If you don't know what a MUD is, I'll explain that at some point in this video, I'm sure. New game. There we go, Steve. There we go.
Demo. The Malevolent Mage.
Steve is playing a trial version of Tavernquest. The adventure he is playing is totally separate and non-canon from the main game. That's a clever way to do a game's demo for something like this. I've looked ahead in your programming. This is a simple story. Steve plays as a noble adventurer whose goal is to defeat an evil wizard. First, he needs to buy a weapon.
Your adventure begins at the general store, where you can buy any goods an adventurer might require. It's a dusty and cluttered locale, but a necessary stop for your quest.
We control all of the characters in the game, except for Steve's. What is the shopkeeper doing as Steve enters the store? I think he's eating a sandwich.
You see the shopkeeper eating a ham sandwich. He's a burly old dwarf with tiny spectacles poking out of his bushy beard. As you catch his attention, he sets his sandwich down and licks his fingers.
What's a good name for the shopkeeper? Oh, I think it'll be Aaron Silverstock, not Brad Shopkeep. Brad Shopkeep Man it is. Thought long and hard about that one, did you? I did, CPU, actually, but it's on recording.
Aha! An adventurer you must be, says the shopkeeper. My name is, Brad Shopkeep Man, and this is my store. Brad's store. Take a look around and talk to me if you'd like to buy something. He eats the last bite of his sandwich and throws his napkin into a garbage bin.
This game is delightful so far. I'm so happy. By the way, feel free to click to skip dialogue or make the text scroll faster. I promise I won't be offended. You can also change the font or text speed in the menu. I'm happy with this. Got it. Alright, Steve, what are you gonna do? Look, garbage. And didn't even put garbage in there. Or was it mentioned? Oh yeah, it was. Really, Steve? The garbage bin was never intended to be anything remotely interesting. Then again, Steve never has much cared about how things are intended to go. We can always just throw an error when Steve does something stupid. Trust me, I'm used to it. Now, what's in the garbage?
You walk past many interesting displays of powerful weapons and items to further examine the garbage bin. It appears to be full of garbage.
This really does feel like Zork. For those too young to really remember these games or who haven't touched the world of interaction, active fiction, or MUDs, these old text-based games are the birthplace of modern RPGs. Everything from Final Fantasy, World of Warcraft, Destiny, Baldur's Gate 3, it all has its birth in games that were like this, exactly like this, and there is still a community of people who are making games like this, both single player and multiplayer, and the multiplayer versions are the MUDs I mentioned before, multi-user dungeons. Anyway, again with the garbage, I feel like we're just encouraging him when we don't throw errors. If you still don't want to go that route, we can have the shopkeeper try to nudge him in the right direction. I'm going to have the shopkeeper say something as Steve tries to get the garbage.
You hop over the counter and begin stuffing handfuls of garbage into your pockets. The shopkeeper watches in confusion. Ah, my garbage? He says. Are you sure you didn't mean to look at the weapon display?
I should mention that Steve's character is supposed to be a wealthy nobleman. We can choose what Steve's character says in this situation. What's a good reason for a nobleman to get someone's garbage? As duty, noblesse oblige.
No need to worry, you say. I am simply assigned to trash duty this week, which is a very normal thing for a noble like myself.
I'm grinning like an idiot here. No, Steve. Steve's gonna eat the garbage. He's really, really into this garbage thing. Are you absolutely sure you don't want to hit him with that well-deserved error? Oh no, we're gonna let him eat the garbage.
You begin to eat the garbage. Pardon me, I do feel a bit peckish, you say. The shopkeeper is terrified.
We need to pull Steve away from his precious garbage. Any ideas? Alright, so we can spot a puppy to distract him, the garbage vanishes, explodes, armed bandits, or he eats the entire bin. Or we're gonna have a puppy distract him.
You hear a puppy barking. Ah, sorry, says the shopkeeper. Little fella must have gotten bored because nothing interesting was happening.
Oh, the shade.
The puppy emerges from behind the counter and eyes you suspiciously. He surmises that you are not a threat and happily wags his tail and nuzzles your leg.
Come on, Steve. Pet the puppy. You know you want to. Pet puppy. Yeah, games like this usually worked in verb-object structure where just a two-word command, so that's what all this is. Even the first graphical RPGs were like this. Attack shopkeeper? I mean, irredeemable. Simply hopeless. I'm sure Steve has a good reason to be attacking this. He's a murder hobo. No, I'm sure he doesn't.
For no discernible reason, you approach the calm shopkeeper and begin to attack him. I have decided that you shall die for my own amusement, Rad Shopkeeper, you explain. I hope that you can put your own self-interest aside so that I may accomplish this goal of mine.
Alright, I guess we're starting Steve's first combat encounter. Ideally, his first enemy would show off the complex combat mechanics, but right here can only do like 1 damage. Yikes. I mean, Steve hasn't even opened up his inventory yet. Does he even have any kind of weapon at all? He's a noble. He can carry a dagger.
Combat. Type Help Combat for list of battle commands.
Steve doesn't type help. Difficulty easy. Brad's got 9 health. Steve has 25 health. Okay.
You stab the unsuspecting shopkeeper with your trusty dagger. Stop squirming around so much, you say. Just let me stab you, you stupid dwarf.
Oh, Brad took over half his health there. Alright, I think Brad's gonna scream at this point.
The shopkeeper begins screaming. Help! Somebody! Somebody help me! He shouts. There's a crazed loon in my shop! He's stabbing me, and he ate my garbage!
Well, Steve takes 0 damage from that. I have to question whether Steve's even reading that.
You continue shanking the poor shopkeeper. I can't wait to see what kind of loot you drop, you say.
Oh, well, goodbye, Brad. Brad Shopkeep Man, we knew him well.
The innocent shopkeeper collapses to the floor in a puddle of blood, dead by your hand. A job well done, you say. Now that my bloodlust has been sated, I shall concentrate on my very important quest.
I hope Steve doesn't think he can just win every combat encounter by typing attack every single round. I wouldn't count on it. I think that's what Steve thinks. Loot Shopkeeper. Alright, what items can Steve find here? You can pick multiple options or none. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I think an important note and 15 gold. We'll leave the potion out. I mean, the potion... Now we'll put the potion in. We'll give it all.
The first step of my very important quest, looting this guy's corpse, you say. You thoroughly search the pockets of the shopkeeper's dead body.
I sure hope Steve drinks this potion.
You take mysterious potion. Note from Brad. An amount of gold.
Alright, Steve, what's next? Drink mysterious potoin. Ah, he fixed it. Potion. Oh, okay. No need to examine the mysterious potion first, I guess. Oh no.
You hold the mysterious potion in your hands. This wouldn't exist if I wasn't supposed to consume it, you say. Drinky, drinky! Unsure of its effect, you chug the concoction with 0 hesitation.
Alright, what am I gonna make this do? Well, you're the one who gave it to him. What is this mysterious potion he drank? Oh, you know... Potion of Wisdom, Potion of Speak with Furniture, or Potion of Bowel Relaxing. As fun as Bowel Relaxing would be, we're going to go with Speaking with Furniture. This game's going to go in a weird direction.
From a nearby wooden stool. Oh, joyous day this is, says the stool. He who sits has been vanquished. The long hours of holding up his buttocks are over. You have now gained the ability to communicate with furniture.
Alright, let's keep going. Come on, Steve. I'm having so much fun with this. What exactly is he supposed to say to a stool? This being Steve, he's gonna say, give me a reward.
If you were the philosophical type, the revelation that inanimate objects are sentient would be an ethical crisis. Luckily, that's not a bother to you. Hey, stool, you say to the stool. Do you have any cool quest rewards for slaying this shopkeeper guy?
Oh, let's see. This stool's very sarcastic.
Yeah. Let me just open up my stool wallet, says the stool sarcastically. But seriously, please don't sit on me.
Oh no, I know Steve's next command. It's gonna be sit stool. Yep, sit on stool. This must be the most sinister usage of the sit command possible. I agree, CPU.
Your eyes light up maliciously. Perhaps this adventurer can reward himself with a well-deserved rest, you say. You adjust your noble robes and slowly sit down, muffling the screams of the stool.
There is some very Stanley Parable energy
"My,
going on
wasn't that
here.
fun, stool friend?" you say, standing back up. The stool refuses to speak to you now. "Fine, you petulant spoil sport. I have an important quest to do."
Alright. And now Steve's gonna start robbing. Hey, there we go. This might be the first useful thing Steve has done so far. There's a bunch of weapons in the shop to choose from. He didn't bother to look at them. Should we offer him a choice or just choose one for him? Oh, we're choosing for him. He doesn't seem to care which one. Okay, here are the weapons we could give Steve here. Choose one. The Sword of Fine Steel, the Wand of Lightning, or the Can of Beans. We're going in a very Dadaist way, so we're gonna take the Can of Beans. Are you sure? The Can of Beans has terrible stats. Even worse than his default dagger. Yeah, I'm sure. Maybe he should have looked.
I need a weapon, but I don't want to waste any time choosing one, you say. I'll just grab the nearest object I can find. How about this can of beans? You equip the can of beans.
Alright, got a protein source. Progress! I guess we're done with the shop.
You exit the shop. You are now outside. You are surrounded by dense forest. A trodden road extends in both directions. A sign advertises Brad's store to highway travelers, though the shop is now eerily quiet.
Why is the shop eerily quiet, Steve? I fear Steve has no idea where he's going, though. That's fair. He's got a note. Go, Wizard Tower. I mean... What? How does Steve know about the Wizard Tower? He didn't talk to the shopkeeper. He didn't even read the note we left. There's this whole forest section he's just trying to skip over. Yeah, we're gonna throw an error there. We're gonna make Steve, hit the forest.
Invalid command, go Wizard Tower. Type help for assistance.
Go forest. Perfect. He's supposed to discover the Wizard's Tower while investigating the forest. This section no longer makes sense if he already knows where to go. We're gonna still make him do this section.
You blindly trudge through the forest until you come to a clearing. You see some movement in the nearby bushes, and you feel you're being watched. Investigate? Yes or no?
Let's see what Steve does. I predict not going to type either yes or no. Go Wizard Tower. Yep. The only acceptable commands for a yes and no prompt are yes and no. That is true. This is an error.
Invalid command. Go Wizard Tower. Yes or no prompts should be answered with either yes or no. Type help for assistance.
Alright, go investigate, Steve.
You make a cautious foray into the brush to see what is hiding within. You discover a scared group of adorable gnomes.
Oh no,
One of
they're
the
gnomes. Murder them, Steve.
"Oh, traveler," he says, "I am Huggy the gnome.
Oh,
Our
murder
clan
the
is being
shit
hunted
out of
by
them, Steve.
monsters. Please help us." Accept quest from Huggy the gnome. Find monsters. Yes or no?
Alright, Steve, what are you gonna do here? Good man. Good man. He said no.
You tell the gnome to go away. "Boo-hoo!" cries Huggy the gnome.
Alright, what's up next? Feels Steve's on the other end, just getting very frustrated. Ask Huggy about Wizard Tower. Alright. See what I'm talking about? He's just trying to speedrun this. We've got to get this guy to the Wizard's Tower before he ends up trying to murder poor Huggy. Finally, let Huggy give him direction to teleport Steve to the tower. No, why isn't there an option to just let him murder Huggy? We're gonna let Huggy give him directions.
Perhaps you may be of use to me, gnome, you say to Huggy. Tell me, tiny one, might you direct me to the nearest tower of an evil wizard? Huggy the gnome looks at you curiously. The secret wizard's tower? It's mighty strange that you know of it already, he says. He then tells you the way to access the wizard's tower through the forest. Of course, I hope you won't forget about us helpless gnomes after you visit that tower.
Feel like they could have done a lot more with this forest section, but oh well. Go Wizard Tower. Maybe in a different route it would.
The gnome's immaculate directions, you make your way towards the wizard's tower.
How should the tower be described? This is a spiky obelisk.
You arrive at a large stone tower emerging from the lush thicket of the forest. The hulking obelisk towers over the surrounding canopy, with decorative turrets jutting outwards like claws. Ivy overgrowth crawls up the structure's exterior, leading you to wonder, is this long abandoned or reclusively inhabited? An imposing wooden door is the only viable entrance you see.
Alright, see if we've got this horrifying little tower here. Go door. Alright. Is Steve's character brave or cautious? Oh, this one is ludicrously brave. We've seen that already.
The intrepid explorer, you burst through the door into the wizard's tower. Hearken and fear me, O foes of mine! You shout. You take a few practice swings at the air with your can of beans to showcase your prowess. You are now inside the wizard's parlor.
Just imagining the scene.
Moss speckle the damp room. A table and two broken chairs sit next to a dusty fireplace, and there's an armoire in the corner. As you step further into the room, you suddenly hear an imposing, ethereal voice echoing through the tower's halls.
Dun dun. Steve is now hearing the warning voice of the evil wizard. What is the wizard's name? I think we can do a little better than Brad this time. This is Bill. Lazador was my other option, but this is Bill.
Intruder, you are entering the domain of the nefarious Bill the Wizard,
says the omnipresent voice.
Leave this place at once, or I will melt your feeble little brain with my evil wizard powers.
You tell him, Bill. You tell him. You tell him. Open armoire. Hey, Steve even spelled it right. Yeah, CPU also commented, I'm surprised he managed to spell that correctly. Of course, he forgot that all furniture is now sentient. Oh god, so did I.
You start to open the armoire, but the armoire interrupts you. Mon ami, says the armoire. At least buy me dinner first. The armoire laughs heartily. Oh, pipe down, armoire, says the nearby table. No wonder we don't get many visitors.
This is the worst version of Beauty and the Beast. Now the worst version is A Court of Thorns and Roses. Anyway. What is Steve supposed to say to a talking table? Who is a wizard in the tower? What happened to those broken chairs? Or hi. Hi.
Hi, table, you say. I'm an adventurer. You have lots and lots of experience talking to furniture.
Nailing it.
Yes, says the table. Hello yourself.
Just enthralling conversation happening here. Oh no, he's gonna attack the armoire with his can of beans. Only Steve could pick a fight with furniture.
You bludgeon the armoire with your can of beans. you were expecting combat, you would do well to remember that the armoire is an inanimate wooden furnishing.
He's attacking the gazebo.
You vile swine, says the armoire. Well, you can forget about opening me. You do not deserve the fine loot I contain.
Tough break, Steve. You're just messing up every step of this process. That's what you get for murder hoboing, Bob. Go upstairs. Alright. Okay, it's time for Steve to encounter his first actual enemy. The shopkeeper doesn't count. There's no way he gets this first try. We'll see.
You head towards the stairs that lead further up the tower. Before you can start up the stairs, the echoing voice of the wizard returns.
Foolish interloper, you did not heed my warning. You have incurred the wrath of Bill. Now my guardian will dispose of you.
You hear vicious snarling as the wizard summons his unholy champion before you.
Great voice acting in this. What enemy should Steve fight? An undead wolf or a goblin? We'll start with a goblin. Goblin is classic for a first enemy.
Goblin materializes. Hey, pal, says the goblin. You're, not allowed. I gotta escort you from the premises. He attacks you.
His can of beans has terrible damage output. Maybe we should rebalance this encounter? Nah.
Combat. Type help combat for list.
Alright, let's see what Steve does in this fight. Difficulty deadly. Goblin has 18 health, Steve is 25, and a can of beans.
You hit the goblin with your can of beans. It is ineffective.
Okay, took 1 damage. What does the goblin do now? The goblin's gonna hide now.
You better find me! The goblin retreats into the shadows. He successfully hides from you.
Alright, Steve. Gonna just keep attacking, huh?
You are unable to find the goblin. I hate goblins. They are the worst, you say.
How ridiculous can I steer this fight? Goblin takes no damage. What does the goblin do now? Does this special.
Suddenly, the crazed goblin leaps at you from the darkness. Taking you by surprise, the goblin deals a critical hit.
Oh, killed him in 1.
Your can of beans was insufficient to defeat the goblin. He dances upon your corpse.
Oh, I wouldn't have done it that way if I'd realized. Continue.
You are dead. You were beaten by a goblin.
A can of beans is not working. Given that Steve uses every turn to just attack, it would have taken 18 rounds of combat for Steve to take down the goblin. When Steve dies in combat, the game reloads it just before the encounter. We're going to have to change something or we're going to be here all day. Alright.
Restart encounter? Yes or no?
Let's see what Steve does. He is going to restart.
A goblin materializes. Hey, pal, says the goblin. You're
Alright.
allowed. I gotta escort you from the premises. He attacks you.
Round 2. Fight. What should we do about the beans situation? We're going to make the beans deadlier.
Combat. Type help combat for list of battle commands.
Difficulty is now hard, and the goblin's down to 17 health. Still just gonna attack.
Goblin with your can of beans. Take that, you stupid monster! You say.
4 damage. Okay, more acceptable. The goblin's gonna shoot this time.
The goblin backs away and fires his shabby bow at you. He deals a lot of damage. You don't scare me. I saw you talking to that table earlier.
Okay, Steve takes 14 damage there. Takes a whack at the goblin. Let's have the goblin try to shoot him now. The goblin took 6 damage there, so the goblin's taking more and more damage.
Stabs you with his rusty spear. Look, fella, You're making me stab ya.
How bad is this stab gonna be? 4 damage. Okay, so Steve's gonna be at 7 health as well. Everybody, he attacks again.
You shove the goblin to the floor and strike him again.
Goblin has 2 health. Goblin's gonna try to stab from the floor.
The goblin jabs at you again. I'm not gonna stop stabbing ya!
Alright, let's get Steve nice and weak at the end of this. 4 health. And the goblin should die to this attack.
You smash apart the goblin's skull with your trusty can of beans.
Goodbye, goblin. Alright. Thrilling combat.
I won, you dumb goblin! You say. You kick the goblin's dead body a few times for good measure. The way up the stairs is now clear.
Alright, up the stairs we go. I'm so glad that's finally over, says the CPU. What's next, is my response. Now we test Steve's puzzle-solving skills. This will go well, I'm sure. Oh no. Oh no. Every dungeon master knows that murder hobos are great at puzzles. What is an oglin? It's typo, CPU. He's trying to loot the goblin. Got it, Steve's a moron.
Invalid command. Loot oglin. Type help for assistance.
Alright, Steve. You got this. I believe in you. Loot goblin. There we go. I think Steve is a loot goblin. Fine, let's throw some quick loot at him. Oh, he's gonna get some goblin poetry from this. No gold.
You search the dead goblin. You take goblin poetry.
He still hasn't read the note from the shopkeep. Probably would have had to be just the note for him to have read that. Oh, read goblin poetry. Great, let's read the goblin poetry, but not any important notes. Got it. I just want to get to the wizard fight. Let's see. Goblins are green.
Oh, joyous day! Goblin poetry, you say. Goblins are renowned for their elegant literary work. You read the following poem. Goblins are green. I am a goblin. I am a green goblin. Something that rhymes with goblin.
It's beautiful.
How profound, you say. You will treasure this artwork forever.
I know I will. I will memorize that poem and recite it often. Alright, let's head upstairs to the wizard. We're almost to the final wizard fight. Continue.
You ascend the spindly wooden stairs to the top of the tower. The voice of the wizard returns, now booming his final warning.
Retreat now and live, adventurer. Bill the wizard will be your doom.
Gotta watch out for Bill the Wizard. Just this one last puzzle for Steve to solve. Yikes or double yikes? This is double yikes.
At the top of the stairs is one final door made of heavy stone. An inscription on the door reads,
To open this door, answer me this riddle. What appears once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years?
It's the letter M, Steve. This riddle is very obvious. All he has to do is type one letter and we're golden. Steve Dami still mix or triple yikes. Here we go. What you gonna give us, Steve? Oh, come on, Steve. Just try something. He's looking this up in a walkthrough, except 1979, walkthroughs didn't exist, internet didn't really exist, I think ARPANET had just formed. Beans. What? No, Steve, you don't. Why would it be beans, you know? Why wouldn't it be
You
beans?
try the answer beans. The door doesn't open.
I feel you, Steve. That was a good try. Something less stupid this time, Steve. Oh, give him a break, CPU. Steve's been through a lot. Hot dog. Hot dog? He can't be serious. I think Steve is hungry.
You try the answer hot dog. The door doesn't open.
Steve, it's M. Just type M and we can fight the wizard. Now the CPU has so much hope. I just realized I'm talking to an inanimate object. There's a beauty in this. Boobs. Perfect. Perfect response. Well, third time wasn't the charm. No, it was not. I think Steve has charm.
You try the answer boobs. The door doesn't open.
Come on. I have absolutely typed boobs into one of these inputs when I was getting frustrated with it. You just start typing whatever at some point. CPU says, okay. Hey. McDonald's. Perfect, Steve. No, that's it. I'm gonna lose it. Maybe the wizard should just come outside, or maybe we should just accept whatever he says is the solution. I think we should accept whatever he says is the solution. Fine. If Steve gets this wrong one more time, we'll just skip this puzzle altogether. Alright, continue.
You try the answer McDonald's. The door doesn't open.
Last chance, Steve. Come on, Steve. You know I've got your back. I believe in you, my little murder hobo. I believe. Come on, Steve. Okay. Oh, quick game. Oh, hey, that's going to be the correct answer. No! Run Tavernquest is coming soon. This demo was only a side quest. The full game will be a brand new experience. Alright, well, that's where this one is ending. I will absolutely give everyone the link in the description. There were so many other ways this could have gone. I will be wishlisting this myself and potentially playing this when the full thing's out. Thank you everyone for coming on this delightful experience, and if there's any other mud players that are watching my stuff, let me know. Would love to nerd out about this stuff. Alright, bye.